Hi, my name is Kathy Fiorillo, and this is a roll of toilet paper. Probably one of the most sought after items at the grocery store. Oh, well, of course, next to the disinfectant wipes, I'm sure. Anyway, today I'm going to tell you how you can use the TP on Zoom. In other words, tips to present. Oh, and before we get started, I just wanted to mention my hand. I had hand surgery a little while ago, so actually my hand is wrapped with, well, not exactly toilet paper, but looks like it, so I figured it'd go with our speech anyway. So maybe you're a faculty member or part of the staff, a business leader, administrator, or anybody who happens to find his or herself in the middle of having to present on Zoom. I hope that you can use my TP to clean up and disinfect your presentation. So let's get started. So let's begin with the setup. Not everybody has the same environment. Some of you are lucky enough to have office space. Others might have to use their bedroom, or even worse, a bathroom. And that's where my TP comes in extra handy. Find an area that you can make look as professional as possible. You want to find an area that doesn't have a picture with reflective glass. I'm going to slide my camera over a little bit, and you can see my bare wall right here. I had a giant picture that had glass in it, but the light would hit the glass and be distracting and take away from the presentation. So I kind of slid my camera over to have the office space behind, a little globe, a picture of my kids to make it look professional. Do whatever you need to do to make your environment look as professional as possible. A few pictures that aren't too distracting is always really nice. If you aren't able to change your background, consider using a virtual background on Zoom. It's really awesome if you have the right type of wall behind you. You need to either have a dark colored wall or have a green screen. Not all of us have a green screen, so it's kind of difficult to use if you don't. And the Lord said, "Let there be light." We obviously need lighting so that we can be seen clearly. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they give a presentation or they're just on Zoom as an audience member is they don't have the proper lighting. The best place to have your lighting is in front of you. If you have a window or natural light and you can have it facing you, that is perfect. If not, having your window to the side with side light coming in, or worse, having the lighting from behind and having it hit you from behind only shows that you're a silhouette rather than a person in a presentation. It makes it hard to see facial expressions and actually see someone's face. Sound. You can't have a presentation without sound. So one thing that I suggest is going to the medium that you're going to use, such as Zoom, and check the settings on Zoom to make sure that your volume level is at the perfect level for you. Also, make sure that on your computer or your laptop or your cell phone that your volume is up to a level so that you can be heard and you can hear others. Without sound, there is no presentation. Anyway, so now that we have our environment, our lighting, and our sound, one thing you need to do before you present is practice. Practice on the camera settings on your desktop, laptop, or even phone to begin, making sure that all your levels, all your setup, everything is in proper place to begin. And one additional point that I'd like to mention is the chair that you use. If at all possible, if you can use anything other than a swivel chair, please do so. Many people have a swivel chair and the entire presentation they do this and don't even realize that they're sliding back and forth on the swivel chair. They get relaxed, they're waiting for their audience to respond, and the next thing they know, they're swiveling away. So I suggest if you have any other chair, use it. This is the only chair I really have that I'm at the right level, so I use this chair. You also want to set up your camera position so that you're sort of midway back so that we can see hands getting used in the picture and we also aren't right on top of the camera as looking like a bad selfie. Let's talk about appearance. The one thing is you want to make sure that your hair is away from your forehead and not covering your eyes. Many people have long hair like I do, and sometimes the hair without a bobby pin can go right in your eye. So without that, my hair is right in my eye. I use a bobby pin to kind of pin back both sides so that it stays free of covering up my face. So make sure, and it doesn't become an ism where you're flopping your hair constantly in the middle of your presentation. And another comment for you women out there who are typically usually get your hair done, which would have been me, but because of this coronavirus, I'm limited to the color of my hair and the style of my hair. Just keeping it off your face is probably the best thing that you can do. And the same thing with makeup. Just have a little bit of makeup on, enough to have color on your face. And for men, you could actually apply a little bit of makeup as well. Maybe a little bit of blush or foundation, even a tint of lipstick, just to warm up your face and to look alive on camera. Wardrobe. You want to pick a color that at least complements your background. My background here is yellow. It doesn't look that yellow, but it is yellow. If I wore a yellow shirt with a yellow background, I would get lost in it. So I wore a pink shirt against the black seat of my chair and the yellowish wall that I have behind me. Therefore, there is some contrast. It also is a good color for me. So maybe perhaps pick a color that people have said you look good in. You don't want anything with paisleys or prints or anything that stands out too much. Otherwise, it might be too distracting for the viewer or be sort of like a seasick feeling when you're looking at a person. Let's talk about body position and eye contact. You want to make sure that you're sitting upright in your seat. If we're slouched or laying back like this, it doesn't give the impression that we're interested. But if we sit forward and sit up, we seem to be interested and have the energy behind our presentation. We also want to look at a point of focus, which is the camera. And sometimes people forget to look at the camera. So what I do is put a little Post-it right behind the camera so that I can't miss it. And it's that big and I can see it, I'm looking right at it, and it appears that I'm looking right at you. And it's a good reminder to keep looking at that Post-it. Vocal inflection. It's important to know that there are two different modes here. When you're teaching and you're in person, you're using all of your hands and body, you're getting energetic, but on the camera, we don't have to be as big. We could be smaller. We don't have to have the level of projection, but we have to be thinking it so that it projects to the camera. The other thing is, when we want to make a point, we can lean forward slightly and lower our voice to get the point across. And we can lean back if we ask the students a question or we ask our audience a question so that it appears that we're interested and we really want to hear what they have to say. When asking an audience member a question, or the audience in general, slightly leaning back shows that we're open and receptive to hearing what they have to say. So it's really important to know when to lean back and when to lean forward. And lastly, I'd like to talk about attention-getting techniques, or as I call them, AGTs, a way of engaging the audience right from the beginning and leaving them at the end. You always start with one. So I started in the beginning, mine with the toilet paper, and I'll also end with my toilet paper. But you want to keep something. It could be you want to keep their attention. You could do that by using a quote, a statistic. Nothing is more powerful than a personal story. You can use an illustration, a video clip, nothing longer than about 30 seconds. You don't want your entire presentation to be an entire video or a PowerPoint presentation, just something quick so that you can show the audience and it doesn't distract from you. And again, it grabs their attention and leaves their attention at the end. So to conclude my tips for presenting, the next time while you're on the throne and using TP, just remember, you too can be the queen or king of your presentation by using your TP. Happy presenting!